Hey guys, Mustached. Tom here, and I'm here to review the movie Fixed. So, I've seen the trailer for this one, and I saw some immediate follow-up saying how, this is going to be grotesque and, too much and all that stuff. Obviously, this is a rated R film. I will still be looking at it as objectively as possible. This is from the creator who made Samurai Jack, so I was very interested to see how far they were gonna, quote-unquote, push the boundaries, as it were. And, despite the cover being what appears to be like a dog orgy, that is in one part of the movie, I will say. They do go there. But I suppose the grossest the movie becomes is there are probably two bits if you're not a fan of blood or not a fan of biting in particular, I suppose is a good way of putting it. Anyway, we'll get there. So we follow a dog named Bull and his 3 dog companions. One dog influencer, and the other 2, one's named Lucky, and he ends up being the unlucky one, so the ironically named dog. And I forget what the Rottweiler, Idris Elba's the one he voices. I forget the name of the dog he plays. But it's the 4 of them. And we learn that the main character, Bull, one of the first things he does is hump his nanny's leg. So they kick him out and whatnot. And we see him sort of companionize with his fellow dogs, and then meet the love of his life, this inbred, or this purebred rather, dog. The next door neighbor, they're playing on this movie, despite being a bit wacky in places, still follows some tried and true, a formula, as it were, with the girl next door trope, something as old as Spider-Man, the original one. So yeah, he's got the hots for her, but after getting to the park and all the dogs commune there, they learn of this other dog who just got, well, as the title implies, fixed by getting the balls, and all that, worked out. So he goes over the procedure that preluded it, what the humans did to pollute it, and that is how our main character learns that he will be up on the chopping block, is that the humans of his household begin to treat him when he returns like a pampered dog, or they just allow him to do whatever he wants when he returns home. So at this juncture, he runaways from home, and we actually solo follow him for a little while, and we had some bits and bobs here and there. Him interacting with cats, and that's when the other companions join him, or rejoin him. He was a little bit of a jerk to them, but they came back to help him out here. So they proceed to say, hey, and he updates them, so they're like, hey, you still got your balls, so, let's get out there. So obviously they're kind of, I get what they're actually doing, obviously. This is like the, male dog equivalent, but Balls in this iteration is pre-marriage, like the night before you're about to get married. This is what this is alluding to, in case anyone thought that this was just a pure hump show. No, no, no. I understood the symbolism behind it. So good job. The way to use sex as a you know, and the night out as a contextual message about, you know, the guy's night out before being hitched down to your one and true, you know. So that's exactly what happens. The lads head out. They chase said squirrel initially, and this is where you get your blood, where they tear the squirrel to bits and bobs and bloody gore. A little bit, you know, not. They don't hold back necessarily. And eventually, they get, I forget what the orders of operations are. I believe they end up after this in the party, where the orgy is consolidated to. Yes, that's what happens next. So it is here where things are meant to go down. So we have these mini character arcs, like, for example, Lucky falls, and I'm not, you know, this is just what happens in the movie, falls for what is alluded to a trans dog. Or a dog that has both bits, as it is implied. I think it's one of those two things, right? So he finds his match, as it were, while our main character, Bull, gets a little bit infatuated with his surroundings, even a little nervous, as it were, and coming across another female that is prepped and ready, as it were, to give him a show, and is caught even in the act by the girl he's, you know, trying to be gotten with. So she's distraught, so she leaves, ready to fall for the other purebred in the movie, which, you know, they had this dog show bit where he was there and saw her, and this is where she realizes, just to go back a bit to that, that, you know, being in this perfectionist and being in this lineup of other perfectionists is not the thing that she wants out of life. And so she's willing to settle with Bull, you know, before she finds out, you know, and comes across this unfortunate state of affairs, as it were. So anyway, it is deep within this party where she was getting ready to leave him that the dog pound people come in and capture all of the dogs. So, of course, as almost a big dog tradition and a lot of dog trope, we end up in a dog pound. And so, you know, we have the lady on one side and the four lads on the other side. And so he's a bit distraught. They chip the female dog to see, you know, to have her picked up first. But the other dogs get stuck there. In which they proceed to have Bull come up with a plan to piss all over the floor. And so all the dogs do so, and that allows them to grab the keys, because one dog, the wiener dog, the influencer, is knows how to walk on two legs, is the bit that they consistently have for him. So he's the one who unlocks the other lads. They get out, and so as they are working their way out. He's trying to get back to her to explain things. Lucky, goes to find his true love, separate but equal, and does so, off a bridge, essentially. While Bull does eventually get home, where, no, not his home, but I think it's her home or the other dog, the other rich male dog. One of those two homes. I believe it's hers, though, as she's been paired with this purebred white dog, and she's like, he's the cocky asshole character all throughout the movie. Very one-dimensional, but the final bit is that Bull ends up close to her, mounting her, literally. I mean that literally. And this is just before the white dog was about to mount the other purebred to, keep that lineage up. But Bull has already mounted her, so now the white purebred is having himself a good old, and he doesn't even know it, a good old gay experience as he's fucking another male dog. But he's so busy, going at it that he's not paying attention, as it were. And so Bull gets his, while getting his, he's in the sandwich, as it were. And we cut to 3 months later, where the procedure has been adjusted for Bull, that being for Bull this time. But hey, he managed to get his kids across, a whole litter of them, as it were. So yeah, and then it does the final bit of the movie, where she says that she's gonna go out with her lady friends, and then it cuts to the same nightclub or house club where the male dogs were. Now it's all the females, and they're watching a bear and his balls, and him working it and twerking it, literally, and the boys snooping in on this little final bit, and that was fixed. Yeah, I thought this movie got across its message of the one night out, while also playing on a huge number of dog puns, like the literal dog names and so on and so forth, how they interact with cats, so on and so forth. And yeah. So this wasn't as, I suppose, chaotic as I thought it would be. I mean, I suppose the craziest it gets is a squirrel being gnawed a pot, the orgy when the guys get to the party, and then the three-way at the end. That's like the raunchiest this gets. So, not the craziest R-rated movie, I suppose. In terms of, if you don't mind some, alluding to lewd action, it's very brief. Then, and if you're also a lover of dog puns, I suppose, then I would actually recommend watching this movie, bizarrely. And it gets across what I think it's meant to get across, the guy's night out, the last hurrah, as it were. And yeah, I think that metaphor might not get picked up by the people who initially were panning it for being raunchy before the movie even came out. They just saw the trailer and just, that's what they came away with it, with even seeing the trailer. But I'm here to review it, and I reviewed it. In terms of a score, surprisingly straightforward. I mean, there aren't many plot holes or much of anything in that regard. The plot is very straightforward, in fact. Like last night of being a free dog, or being in the equivalent of free man or a single man, and getting that last night out. That's the movie, that's the plot. And then sort of the interactions that stem from that are a little bit scattered, but still interacted with the singular plot. And deals with all of the dog-related stuff. Again, how they interact with cats, how they end up in the pound, all these dog-related things. Pound could be related to, if the whorehouse, or the, whatever house you want to call that. I don't know if whorehouse is the correct term, but, at any rate, like, getting caught, like, presumably this is like a young dog is sort of like the equivalent, I think, of like, you're like getting married at like 18, like just at the cusp of like you are already ready, kind of that vibe going on in terms of like, because if you know anything about dogs, they don't age the same as humans, so yeah. Anyway, I guess in terms of a score, I guess it's pretty straightforward. Again, if you find the bits and bobs about dog puns funny, if you find I don't know if I would even call it lewd humor. I mean, I guess the last bit's meant to be lewd humor, I guess. To an extent. But surprisingly, a little tame in that regard, I guess. Except the orgy. I guess that's like literally the craziest that gets. Again, as I mentioned, but I guess I would still give it like a 6 or 7 out of 10. Like, I think it's a solid flick. So if you ended up enjoying this review, then please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Also make sure to check out those links in the description. When I do to my petition about small YouTubers, so get to my PayPal, where you can help support me and my channel directly, and direct to my Discord server, join, collab, show, and do that cool stuff for free. And until next time, everyone, bye-bye.